Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Grumpy Guy Show. I'm Derek McAllister.
And I'm Ryan McAllister.
So, who knows what the heck kind of show we got tonight? Could be some tangents. Yeah, I don't know. But anyhow, let me start out with share. Please, folks, don't be afraid to share the podcast. We're just trying to keep it going, Unfortunately, without any comments or any feedback or any kind of interaction at all, it's kind of hard, to keep the enthusiasm going, I guess. I see.
Morale?
Yeah. Yeah, I look at YouTube, and it shows that we have 14 subscribers, but we're usually lucky if we get 3 or 4 views.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really pathetic when the average view is less than 30 seconds. So that means they're listening to the intro and that's it. So yeah, maybe I get rid of the intro. What the heck? I mean, you know what? Screw it. Let's try it. We'll get rid of the intro. Starting this week, that's it. No more intro.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is, but I don't know. And when I look at
I mean, technically, we're doing 2 intros, because...
Yeah, it's not really. Not really. Because, I mean, we have the intro, which gives an overview of what the whole episode is about, and then we have the introductions, which is probably what you're thinking of as an additional intro. But I don't know. I mean, but at any rate, so we have 14 subscribers on YouTube. We get 1 to 2 views. I think the most we've had is 5. And then, I look at YouTube, and the most listens that we get are like 6 or 7, and we have 8 subscribers there. So, it's, please, folks, share it out. Tell people, about us. And if you got suggestions, we got a Facebook page, for easy suggestions, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can always put a comment there. I check it regularly. With Spotify, I'm not sure how the heck to look at comments there. I don't believe I've seen any, but I'll check again. But I mean, this is something just for fun, but it's hard to keep going without any interaction.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, let's jump right in then. What do you say?
What do we got?
All right. So last week, I was doing something at work, and there's certain applications that have been free forever, and in this case, it happened to be Adobe Acrobat Reader, not the full-blown Acrobat, just the Reader, which has always been free. And within there, you used to be able to do things like select text and copy it. Well, now, if you want to select text, that costs extra.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to while you're using Adobe's free Reader program, if you want to select text.
Free.
Yeah. Yeah, and it really does have to go in quotes, but I'll get to that in just a second. So if you try to select text, then it'll pop up with, try the premium version for 7 days for free.
Oh, God.
Okay, so here's the problem. Every single time you open up Adobe Reader, guess what pops up? Try premium for 7 days.
For 7 days, absolutely free.
And when you're...
It's like that joke that my friends and I have going, want to break from the ads? Want to break from the ads? Want to break from the ads?
it's ridiculous, and it's getting to be more and more like this with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the stupid thing that has happened with Adobe. So they wanted the PDF format to, be ubiquitous and be used all over the place, and they figured that'd drive revenue for them because then people are going to say, well, I want to be able to edit it, so I'm going to pay for Adobe Acrobat, not just get the free reader.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of backfired because now there are all kinds of PDF editors out there that are half the price of Adobe Acrobat. And the worst part in the world is that you can buy those outright, and I can guess that with Acrobat, you're going to have to pay a subscription because that's the model that Adobe seems to want to follow, is a subscription for everything.
Of course.
Yeah.
Everything's a subscription now.
So, there was just a small section of text that I needed to copy. And, so I was like, okay, great. What the heck can I do? So then I went to Explorer and I right-clicked and I said, open with Word. Why not? It opened it up. All formatting was exactly the way it was in the PDF, and I could edit it. And it's all already paid for by the company because we use Office. So I'm like, yeah, smooth move, Adobe. That's really going to get me to pay for your crap. But it's not just Adobe. Every company seems to be doing this. It's not just, okay, well, you buy it and you get this whole suite of things. No. So you look at Adobe, and with just copying text, that's probably one subscription level. And if you want to actually edit the file, that's probably another subscription level. And that's how they make so much money. It's all of these incremental additions that just screw the people over and put money in their pocket. Because, we've got these CEOs who know absolutely nothing about the product or how it's designed or how it's built or anything, that are making billions of dollars a year. It's not like you got a software engineer running the damn place. No.
Nope.
They're just somebody who was privileged and went to a Ivy League school and,
I've been rich all their life.
Did a lot of ass kissing. Yeah.
And I've never had to do any real work.
Yeah. That's how most of these CEOs are now. They're just figureheads who make a lot of money.
Yep.
But we've talked about that many, many times before.
More than enough times.
Yeah. But, I see this happening with more and more companies, though, with software. Every little tiny thing costs more. And, sooner or later, Adobe is going to start stripping apart Photoshop and make it so that every little piece, such as raw photo editing, that's going to be extra. If you want to be able to edit raw formatted photos, it's going to cost you more than what it costs to just edit regular photos, a JPEG format. Why? Yeah. Well, because they can. It's just a matter of time before they do it. It's ridiculous. And, they wonder why people like me start looking for alternatives. To start with, Photoshop, I don't remember, we may have talked about this before, but Photoshop is number one with consumers, not necessarily number one with professionals. It's and a lot of that has to do with a professional. A professional doesn't mind spending a lot of money to get a really high quality product. Adobe, it's got a lot of features and everything, but they're not necessarily the best. But whatever. Not saying there aren't professionals that use Adobe, because there are. It's just,
of course there are.
Yeah, I don't believe, based on things that I've read, I don't believe that it is number one by professionals. Could be wrong, but I don't know. But anyway, so what do you say we move on?
What's next?
So next we're going to talk a little bit about our favorite politician.
Ooh, what do you do now?
He didn't do anything.
Ooh.
Believe it or not.
That's surprising.
Believe it or not, this is about people who are attacking him.
Mm-hmm.
And, what came out on the news last week was his youngest son, Barron, is now 18. So somebody said, oh, he's fair game. I'm like, he's an 18-year-old. What the hell do you mean what the hell do you mean he's fair game?
He's staying out of the public eye.
Yeah, it's not like, it's not like the situation with Hunter Biden where he may have done some things that were illegal.
He allegedly commits crimes every day.
Well, he allegedly committed crimes and he's being investigated for it. He's a
very shady individual.
And the same thing with Trump's other, his older sons. They're being investigated.
Also very shady individuals.
Yeah, but they're being investigated, and of course, they've also been, a jury has found them guilty. So, okay, that stuff I get. But this kid's 18. He what could he have done that makes him fair game? What could he have done that actually makes you think that you need to go after him just so that Trump shuts up or something like that? It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not.
And it's just stupid.
It is.
And this is the tit for tat crap that we keep going through with politics. And it's just getting worse and worse. And, some of that tit for tat stuff comes right back to the House Speaker. Mm-hmm. So last week, he worked with Democrats and, a majority.
I don't believe that.
Well, he did, because the only way he could get a bill passed to prevent a government shutdown was to work with Democrats. He did so, and now some of these radical Republicans are saying, "Oh, we need to replace him." I don't know the chick's name.
Oh yeah, MTG was saying that. Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying that.
Yeah, I mean,
she should never be taken. Nothing she says should be taken seriously.
Well, she actually filed a motion to replace him, and I'm like,
she's insane.
Yeah, and just listening to her, all I could think was, she's really pushing to make herself the Trump vice president.
Oh yeah.
She spoke just like him. Her attitude was just like him, and I'm like, are you that stupid to realize that you can't pass something based on whether it's Republican or not? Mm-hmm. Plain and simple. Yes, they may have a majority, but
barely.
Yeah, it's a very slim majority. And if you don't work with Democrats, that slim majority ain't going to pass it.
That slim majority is going to go bye-bye.
Yeah, and I really think in the next election cycle for the House, that majority is going away. Mm-hmm. I think the Republicans have shot themselves in the foot with things like, nope, we're going to follow Trump's request and not pass this bill that actually increases border security because he wants to run on that. I think that has shot them in the foot with every state that is along the border.
Yep.
And, where's the big one? Texas.
Yep. The really big one.
Yeah. Texas is...
There are like 38 House seats in Texas that are up for grabs.
Yeah.
Although most of them are safe either way, so...
Well, you say that, but I honestly think that the Democrats have a chance at doing something there because of this. And maybe not necessarily the Democrats. It might be some moderate Republicans.
There are competitive seats that Democrats could snatch up.
Yeah.
I'm not doubting that.
It's, what
I'm saying is that a majority of seats in the House, I think, are not competitive for either side.
Yeah. I mean, it all depends. It's really hard to tell because we're not in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know anybody in that area, so it's not like we can ask them or anything like that. We have to rely on, news coverage. I mean, I'm sure you have other things that you look at besides what I do, but anything can happen. I mean,
very true.
There's talk about no vote. I'm pretty sure we talked about it before. There's a lot of people saying, I'm not going to vote to prove whatever point. I'm not going to vote because I don't like either candidate. Okay.
So, sounds like your wife, sounds like your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, Dad, Grandma has said that she doesn't intend on voting.
Yeah, I believe it.
I find it a bit hard to believe since she used to be so hardcore pro-Trump.
Yeah, but I think that was your grandfather's influence.
I don't know. I think he was more moderate than she was.
Yeah.
He once told me that at one point he was willing to vote for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, I don't know. He said that, but at the same time, he supported Trump. And if you listen to him, all he did is complain about Biden and what Biden's done to America.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. But
it is.
I don't know. But anyway, I just, like I said, what started this whole story, I don't get why they would even be looking at Barron Trump. He's 18. He hasn't done anything. And if he has done something,
we don't know because he's not a public figure.
Yeah, not only do we not know, but, it's just, it would be something that has nothing to do with his father's position in life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, whatever. But this is the garbage that we're going to have to deal with from now on.
Yeah.
You're going to have extremes.
One side attacking the other for stupid reasons.
Yep. And then when the other side, when majority flips, which it will, then it's just going to be, oh, well, no, we got to go on the attack now. It's...
Yep, that's how it was. That's how Democrats were after Hillary lost. That's how Republicans were after Trump lost.
Yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, it's going to continue.
Big babies.
Yep. Big, rich babies. That's what it really comes down to.
Oh, this is even regular people that are supporting them. This isn't even just the politicians themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mix, but it really truly does come down to the politicians and how they act. They act like children. So they're children, in my opinion. There isn't much that's going to change that. They're children. They're rich, spoiled children.
Mm-hmm.
But
especially our favorite politician.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he's rich.
True.
So did you hear the latest thing that he said? As long as we're going on a tangent.
What did he say?
So there's two parts to this. So first, he said when somebody asked him about, putting up the $460 million bond, he said, oh, I've got that cash. I can just do it myself. I just don't want to because I want to put that towards my campaign. And I'm like,
my goodness.
Yeah, you don't have that kind of cash. Otherwise, a bank would have frickin' given you the money. But, he said that, and I'm like chuckling.
He's hilarious.
And then, they had appealed the dollar value of it.
Mm-hmm.
And, the appellate judge said, well, you know what, I'll reduce it.
Mm.
Which, okay, I get it. They're not, the judge didn't reduce the end result. So what he did is he reduced the bond that was necessary, just to hold things over. But if he loses in the appeal, he still has to pay that $460 million. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Very interesting.
So, now, so somebody pointed out, I don't remember what news agency it was, pointed out that, Trump doesn't have that kind of money. But not only does he not have that kind of money, he hasn't put any of his own money into campaigning since 2016. So, this is just another lie with, I've got that money, I'm rich. So then,
I'm really rich.
Yeah. So then, on tonight's news,
the beauty of me is that I'm really rich.
Yeah, in your own mind.
That is an actual quote from him.
Oh, I'm sure. But on tonight's news, they were saying, and I found this hilarious because he's rich, that he's now really selling Bibles, and I'm like,
yeah, I saw that one.
Okay. So this is your latest fundraiser.
He's not even a real Christian. That's the funniest part.
He's not. He's just using it, just trying to get the vote.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a typical thing of a politician to say something and not really believe it. But, I'm just like, okay, so you're selling these Bibles. He's selling them for $59 each. And I'm like,
yikes.
Okay, you can get a really, really high quality copy for that kind of money, and what he's selling ain't going to be a high quality copy.
No, it's not.
The worst part in the world is it's probably something that's made in China, which, he's completely anti-China.
Yep. Oh, yeah. He's going to be tough on China.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, I'm just like, I've had enough. I really wish that he would just fade away, just go away. I don't want to hear him anymore. I don't want to hear about him anymore. Unfortunately, we're going to be stuck listening because even if he doesn't win, we're going to have to listen.
He'll just run again.
Well, even if he doesn't win, we're not even going to have to wait 4 years to keep hearing about him because all the lawsuits that are going on.
Yep.
We're going to hear about him for the next 10 years.
Plus his whole thing with the election being stolen. He's probably going to say that again. Yeah.
Yeah. And funny, I heard, so there's something going on with Sean Combs, the rapper there, where he's being accused of sex trafficking and a whole bunch of other things. And I laughed because they quoted him on the news tonight.
Yeah.
In talking with Sean Diddy Combs, he stated that this is fake news. I'm like, oh my God.
Hey!
Everything that's bad is always going to be fake news from now on. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
You don't have to be a politician or anything. Just, it's fake news. It's a witch hunt. And that was the other thing. This is fake news. It's just a witch hunt. I'm like, oh my God.
That's going to be Trump's legacy right there. Fake news and witch hunts.
Yeah. And it's pathetic. I mean, seriously, dude. If you were doing sex trafficking, you deserve everything you get.
As the man himself used to say on Twitter all the time, sad. All caps, too.
Yeah. Oh, my.
Don't forget, it's always in all caps.
Yeah. All right. So how about we move on to our last topic?
What's this one?
So, not last week, over the weekend.
Oh?
A terror attack happened in Russia. Really sad situation where...
Heard about that.
where at this point it's 136 people have died.
Oh.
But four gunmen went into a concert and started shooting.
Mm.
And it's a really sad situation. Supposedly, and I say supposedly because I don't have any information on it, but supposedly the United States had actually warned Russia that there was news that in their intelligence there was news that they had found saying that there was going to be an attack in a concert someplace in Russia. And this happened in a major city. I mean, the venue holds like 35,000 people or something like that, and it was just about full. So granted, a lot of people got out. However, at this point, it's 136 that were killed. Who knows if it's going to go up? I mean, after the first day, they said 100 people had died and were killed. Mm-hmm. And then the day after that, it was 120. The day after that, 130. So it's going up as people's injuries, take over.
Yeah.
So who knows if it's going to go higher? But the reason I bring this up is because Putin is so desperate for support with his war in Ukraine that he immediately blamed it on Ukraine. Even though, here's what really kills it. Even though many hours prior to him blaming it on Ukraine, ISIS claimed responsibility and they posted body cam video.
Ah.
Yeah. So it's not like ISIS was faking it. They got the body cam video to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
They were,
that ISIS still existed.
Well, the United States couldn't wipe them out. And there's places where they are harbored. So, places that the United States didn't want to go into to widen the war.
Mm.
So, they do exist, unfortunately, but
at least they're probably not as big as they used to be.
Yeah, they're not, but that'll change as they brainwash more people. It'll change, But the whole thing is Putin was he was dead set against the United States war against ISIS, and this is kind of justice for it. I mean, they came and they attacked our citizens. Well, guess what? Here they are, Putin. They're attacking your citizens, and
your problem now.
Well, the thing is, more than likely, the reason that they weren't found out and prevented was because Putin's intelligence is focused on Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of the reason that I think he was pushing so hard that, this was Ukraine. Ukraine did it. Blah blah blah. And,
yep.
Number one, he's trying to garner support by saying that.
Because nobody likes his little war.
No, there's actually been a lot of civil unrest happening in Russia because of it, and it's getting worse and worse. But yeah, I don't know. But then they actually caught the four gunmen, and they actually showed video of them being caught, and you could see the major difference between being caught for something like this in Russia versus the United States. In the United States, they may have been manhandled a little bit, but in Russia, these guys were beaten severely to the point where 2 days later, when they appeared in court to hear their charges, one of them was barely conscious.
Oh.
Yeah. In the United States, he would not have been brought to the courtroom because he was barely conscious.
The United States, he'd be in a hospital.
Yeah, he would still be in a hospital where, in Russia, from what I've gathered on the news, not only was he barely conscious when he was in the courtroom, but he was not in a hospital. He was just in a prison cell.
Yikes.
Yeah. So, you know, any criminal that feels that they've been wronged here in the United States, well, why don't you try going over to Russia and breaking one of their laws and see what happens? So I don't know. I mean, but yeah, you always hear on the news, they say, this is really a difficult video to watch.
Yep.
You know, and all I could think as they showed this stuff, I mean, they showed one of the arresting officers, or, you know, whatever he is, they showed him punch the guy like 7 or 8 times while he's laying on the ground, and then kick him twice before they stopped the video. And I'm like,
holy crap.
What the, you know, and this is body cam video from another officer. I'm like, and they never gave that warning. This is difficult to watch. I understand that what these guys did was sick and twisted, but that doesn't mean that you should be sick and twisted with them.
No.
You know, at the same time, I mean, I kind of understand, you know, it's all over the news, all over international news, that this happened in Russia, and, you know, it's kind of a pride thing, but I don't know. I don't understand why that wasn't cut off. You know, why there wasn't the warning that this is difficult to watch. Because I've seen things, you know, where they say it's difficult to watch that have happened elsewhere in the world, and I'm like, what's difficult about that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, where this is, I mean, obviously the guy is down on the ground. He's not moving. He's not fighting with him or anything. And they just keep going after him. I'm like, wow, it's not right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well. All right, folks. I'm sure you heard that music starting up.
And that means good night.
We'll see ya.